All right, do you guys buy used fragrances and do you sell fragrances that you don't want anymore? So I recently discovered Rescented. Have you guys visited this website? It's a website that is founded by perfume lovers and specifically for perfume lovers themselves. So if you have blind buys that you're not really liking, you can sell them there. And if you're looking for some specific fragrances that you've been wanting and you don't care if it's used, you can find them there. Search and find or look through the list of fragrances and find them. So recently I was looking for a fragrance that I wanted to add back into my collection. I had it at one time and somehow I was made to feel guilty by my attorney, of all people, who did a lot of free work for me. And somehow I felt sorry that she did all the work. So I ended up gifting the bottle to her. So this was like at least 12 some years ago when I first started wearing this fragrance. The fragrance I'm talking about is L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme, this, which is what I ended up buying from Rescented. So I personally do not buy used fragrances. I don't, because if it's still in the market, I just go directly. Unless I, for some reason, it's like selling right in front of me, somebody I know and I trust them, I do. So I buy them that way. But I don't usually go online to do it. But I'm sure you guys do. You guys buy a lot of fragrances. Probably you're not a collector like me. You don't, you're not constantly buying, but you do buy you do blind buys, and probably 9 out of 10 times, maybe they're not perfect for you, and you want to get rid of those fragrances. And the Rescented, I think, is a great place to do it. And that's exactly what happened with this fragrance. So again, I had given my original bottle 10, 11, 12 years ago to my attorney, and I always wanted to add it back in my collection. I never did. But if you have been following my channel, I always talk about this fragrance. This is the EDP version of what I just bought from Rescented. So this is L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme Eau Extrême, a fragrance I first discovered in an Uber ride in 2011, Thanksgiving Day, going to a friend's house for Thanksgiving. Got into one of those earlier Uber cars, and at that time in 2011 is when they launched. They were black cars, so it was a really fancy car, really cool driver. And I walked into the car and I was like, what the heck is this guy wearing? What in the world is this amazing fragrance that I've never smelled before? We were communicating back and forth. He really didn't remember the name. And at the time when Uber had just launched, you can actually communicate with somebody's actual phone number. So he said, after you're done and I get back home, I'll send you a photo. And he did. He sent me the photo, and I couldn't find that fragrance anywhere here in the States, nowhere to be found. So luckily that December I was traveling to France. I ended up buying it there, and the rest is history. Because if I had never discovered L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme Eau Extrême, I probably would not be doing YouTube videos now. That's how the story goes. It was that fragrance that led me to do YouTube videos. But going back to the original, I'm so happy to find it at Rescented. So I go there and look for some classic, vintage, discontinued. Those are the keywords I use. And that's what I did and discovered this. And I've discovered a few others that most likely I will buy as well. There was a Versace that I wanted, and a Paco Rabanne that I wanted that I wore back in the 90s and 80s. So looking at some of those fragrances I will buy. But I also do not sell. I don't sell any of my fragrances. I collect everything. But you can do that. You can turn your blind buys into cash to buy more fragrances, So it's a trusted resource. It's kind of like Mercari, maybe the old Facebook groups or Facebook Marketplace, maybe Craigslist. Because I used to sell a lot of fragrances all over, even eBay and places like that. I used to sell my fragrances. So this is kind of made just for us fragrance lovers. You can just go there, sell all the stuff that you don't want there, buy things that you want there. Some of it is used, obviously, but this one, look at it. It's hardly used. And the thing is, it smells like I remember this fragrance smelling when I first smelled it. I can't believe how good the quality is. So when I sprayed it, I was like, oh my God, this takes me back to the first time I smelled it. Like, it was like I remember the first time I smelled it, the first day. So good. It's like it's in perfect condition, like it's just been manufactured now. So I looked at the batch code on the back, because I always do when I buy older fragrances and I've never bought from Rescented before. Do I trust it? I wanted to make sure it was authentic. First of all, the smell was awesome. It smelled like the original, and I even have it on now. It's smelling so fantastic on me. But I went to the batch code. I went to those online databases, both of them. I tried, and both of them said January 2026 is when it was manufactured. And I know this is not manufactured now anymore, because I think around 2015, 2016, they changed their bottles to this. All Guerlain fragrances became like this, and there's now they're also not like this anymore. They're the square bottles like L'Homme Ideal fragrances, but they've since been changed. But so if this was manufactured, it definitely was not manufactured in January 2026. So going back 10 years, maybe it was manufactured in January of 2016. But personally, I think this was manufactured in January of 2006, because this fragrance came out in 2004, the Eau de Toilette, and I believe the EDP, the Eau Extrême, came out in 2005. Because look at the bottom of the box of both fragrances. They're different. So this one seems like it was done long ago, because on the back of this, you have this information. And on the back of this, the Guerlain back there looks like they weren't using that logo in 2016. It just looks older to me. What do you guys think? So I scored here. This is such an awesome way to end up buying fragrances that I want to add back into my collection. And I think Rescented is a great resource. And again, it's like, do I go to eBay when I have to surf through all the garbage that they have there, products I don't want? I mean, it's nicely done. It's also secure. Everything is done legitly and very, very trustworthy. So I did a little research on the website. Apparently they have over 15,000 users. So if you're a fan and you buy a lot of fragrance, maybe you want to sell some of your fragrances you're not wearing, or if you're looking to buy fragrances that you don't want to pay the full price, the full retail, and you don't mind a used bottle, then definitely Rescented is probably a resource to use. Now let's quickly go over this fragrance, because again, it's one of my favorite fragrances. I am wearing it right now, and I can't believe how great this is. I'm like very, very happy with the transaction, because sometimes when I buy used fragrances, I can smell the fragrance at the top a little turned. Like it does smell like it's turned. This one does not. Also, this is citruses. It's all citruses, whereas both of the fragrances are the same, but this version is a lot of citruses plus star anise. There's cacao and chocolate. But the Eau de Parfum, the Eau Extrême, is also the same, but less citruses. And that's also what's surprising about this, how pristine the condition is. It's been kept really, really in perfect condition. Like they must have stored it somewhere extremely cool, dark, and dry for it to be like this, especially if it's from 2006, which it looks like it is. And to me, it smells fantastic. Juicy citruses up top, that really amazing smell of the star anise that I absolutely love. Anise, star anise, licorice, these notes, I absolutely adore in fragrances. And this is one of the best examples right here. And mixed with the citruses is amazing. Plus you have the cacao, that kind of sweet, kind of almost gourmandesque touch with the patchouli, the earthiness. I find this to be one of the sexiest. And if you never wore either, I highly, highly recommend you discover it. Try and figure out a way to find it. Do the same thing. Go on Rescented and look for it. And maybe look for some other fragrances that you're looking for. But this is so good. This is absolutely amazing. And so happy to have it. Now, the EDP is definitely darker. The patchouli and the cacao is more amped up. And again, the citruses are a bit more toned down. And I think the anise, the star anise, I think is pretty much the same, because just the freshness is gone from the, more patchouli as well. Deep, dark, chocolatey patchouli and the star anise. So good, so good. This is, again, one of the best fragrances ever created. One of the best men's fragrances of all time. I think it's a masterpiece. Created by perfumer Beatrice Piquet, which I don't know much about her. I guess at that time, other perfumers were creating fragrances for the house of Guerlain. Not necessarily Terry Wasser or Delphine Jelk now, but it's a masterpiece. And both versions are awesome. It's just, I never bought this, repurchased it after I gifted it to my attorney. But luckily, I found it over at Rescented. I'm going to look at the bottom as well. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think this was manufactured in 2006 or 2016? Looking at the back. Because that, to me, looks older than... Like, it's not on the back of this. It's not on the back of this. That Guerlain Perfumer, that logo looks kind of old to me. That's why it makes me think this is from 2006. What are your thoughts? It doesn't have... Well, it does have it. I don't know. But what a score. It's so cool. So... Going back to the redos also, I have a full bottle of the eau de toilette when it was redone in these tall bottles. And unfortunately, I think this is the only amount I have in the EDP in this bottle. Sad, that's all I have. But that's all I have. I think I might have a bottle somewhere stored away, hidden away. I'd have to dig around. But... personally, I think the fragrance changed a little bit from this bottle to this bottle. So always having that original, the original version is awesome. And now I don't have to feel bad about giving my bottle away because it was like perfectly right on the Rescented website and was able to buy it. And now I'm very, very happy. So let me know if you guys have used Rescented. What are your thoughts? Do you buy used fragrances or do you prefer to buy your fragrances new? Do you buy vintage, classic, discontinued fragrances or do you not do that? For me, I think it's going to be the perfect resource to look for fragrances that are discontinued, classic, and or vintage on there. But I think for you guys, it's perfect to sell your fragrances you're not wearing and or buy fragrances you want that you don't care if it's used a little bit. Some of the fragrances that I saw there do look like they've been used, and some of them do not have the packaging. And luckily, this had the packaging. It was also really cool the way it was shipped. It came in this really awesome box. Like, they put a lot of care into the shipping of this fragrance, which is also really, really great. I love that about it. Like, the whole transaction was super amazing and very successful. And I'm very, very happy for this. So let me know your thoughts on Rescented. If you've used it, do you plan on using it? Go check it out. See if you find a favorite fragrance. And let me know. Come back and let me know. And I'll keep going back. I'll have the website and I go on there every few days to look and see if there's anything new that somebody's posted that I really want. Again, I don't personally buy used fragrances in general. Once in a while I might. But the ones I would buy or look for are the vintage, discontinued, and... classic fragrances that are not easy to get. Because if I have a website that I can constantly search for things that I want to add to my collection that's been missing, especially since they're vintage, classic, and discontinued, that's awesome. I don't have to go to a website that has a lot of other things and you're like going through all of that extra stuff to just find something you're looking for. This is a lot more simple and it's just fragrances and it makes it much easier for me to find things because the searching is easier and you're not going through a ton of other things. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on Rescented. Add a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme, the EDT or the EDP. I think it's a masterpiece. It's one of the best men's fragrances ever created. If you haven't gotten your nose on it and if you can find it somehow, get it. Totally, especially if you love my taste. Because as I said, this is the fragrance that got me into doing fragrance reviews. If it wasn't for that Uber ride, it's a very memorable experience. If it wasn't for that that Uber ride on Thanksgiving Day, I probably wouldn't. Well, maybe I would have found out about it, but I mean, I wouldn't have used that excuse to find it in France. Like if I didn't get into that Uber and smell it and look for it when I went to France like a month or so after. So it was awesome experience, and this was also an awesome experience looking for this fragrance on Rescented. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video, please share it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon. And please add a comment so it helps with the algorithm and it gets the video out for a lot more people. But before I go, also, let me tell you a little bit more about ScentFest. Guys, ScentFest SF is happening here in San Francisco on June 26, 27, and 28. I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you haven't yet, it's the first fragrance experience here on the West Coast. And basically, it's like a trade show for consumers. We have over 100 brands between our exhibitors, sponsors, distributors, agents, and retailers bringing to the venue. And so you'll have over 100 brands, probably around 110 brands, I think, within all the exhibitors. And you'll be able to smell over 500 fragrances and participate in really unique experiences. Creating fragrances, whether it's with a technology or blending by yourself, and smelling all the latest fragrances from the brands that are exhibiting. Go to the website. I have it linked in the info box. You can find out who's exhibiting. And most importantly, you'll be able to meet the founders of the brands, maybe perfumers, and participate in panel sessions. We've got scent sessions happening. We've got some big brands that we'll be announcing very soon, so stay tuned for that. And most importantly, also, we have the Osmotech, where you'll be able to smell 25 fragrance formulas from the past. Like, you can smell the original Houbigant Fougère Royale formula and how it smelled compared to what it is now. And 24 other fragrances in the Osmotech. Anyway, thanks so much. See you guys later. Get your tickets. Bye-bye.